In Chile, the manager at the copper mines and the emergency room physician are all taking part in something Americans have thus far only talked about. Chileans have their own private pension accounts, money they save that's invested for them in stocks and bonds. At 65, retirees can take out what they put in, plus any gains that accumulate. Social Security in Chile was privatized in 1981, and nearly everyone is in it.
Chilean workers are required to put a set percentage of their pay in one of these so-called AFPs, privately managed funds which have differing levels of risk.
I put my money in the higher risk portfolio.
Rigoberto Rimuellen is a manager at El Teniente Copper Mine, where he has worked for 5 years. He's 33 and the father of darling Luke, age 1.5. All in all, he's pretty bullish about his retirement nest egg.
Yes, I have a lot of time to increase my money.
Chile has gone farther with privatization than any other country. Workers get a tax break if they set aside more than the minimum. And at age 55, 10 years before retirement, they must transfer their money into the least risky fund.
If you are very close to retirement, your money is not in the stocks market. It's in the zero risk instrument.
Economist Tomas Flores. Why is this a better system than what we have in the United States, where there's one fund that pays out?
Because the pension depends on your personal saving and on your personal decision during your lifetime.
Chile's private pension system does have one clear advantage over America's. It's not going broke.
The trust fund will be exhausted in 2036 or 2037.
That's because our Social Security Trust Fund will soon start paying out more than it takes in. The math is pretty straightforward. Ever more retiring boomers drawing benefits, coupled with fewer younger workers paying in. Newsweek columnist Robert Samuelson says both Republicans and Democrats share the blame for inaction on Social Security for the past quarter century.
The obstacles here are almost 100% political. People simply don't want to do what it's obvious that you might do to solve this problem.
Of course, there's nothing like a dictator to break through political gridlock. It was General Pinochet who forcibly introduced privatized Social Security in Chile when its public system, similar to the U.S., was about to go under. His economic team, many of whom had studied under Milton Friedman at the University of Chicago, favored Friedman's vision of getting government out, even from big social programs, and letting the market move in. Americans are leery of this. And some of the Chileans we met are too. Almost no one thought they'd go dancing into old age, flush with their retirement savings. That emergency room physician you met earlier?
I don't even want to know. I've lost a ton of money.
She says she hasn't even looked at her pension account since Chile's economy, along with the rest of the world, went into a tailspin.
Y la verdad es que aspiro a morirme luego.
To be honest, I hope I don't live to 90 or even 80.
You don't want to have to live on whatever you've saved.
No.
In fact, the day we visited the office of an AFP, one of those privately run pension funds, it was jammed with mostly nervous customers.
I have 9 years left until I retire, and it looks like I'll be retiring with the bare minimum.
You're not able to accumulate enough money to get a good pension.
Economist Esteban Puentes says the assumption that if private funds compete, you win, didn't quite work out that way. Instead, Chile's AFPs racked up huge costs to market themselves and lure new business, costs they passed right on to their clients. That, says Puentes, is what happens when the market is left to its own devices.
Now, after 25 years, you realize that they didn't work the way they were supposed to.
So, is private Social Security inherently flawed? Chile's government does not seem to think so.
We thought that having individual accounts that reward private saving and responsibility was a good thing.
But Finance Minister Andre Velasco says the government is moving in to regulate.
So we kept the individual accounts, we kept the private management of the accounts, but we topped it up with a minimum public guarantee and with an enlarged role for the state in those minimum guarantees.
In other words, not entirely private, not entirely public either. And Minister Velasco says the government may need to tinker some more before it finds a final Social Security formula. Here in the Andes Mountains, the ultimate success of privatized Social Security is still a little cloudy. For World Focus, this is Edie Magnus in Santiago, Chile.